Many new agents have shared their frustrations with me that they just don't know how to get organized. What do I do to prospect? How do I get leads? How do I create the branding, the websites, the everything I need to do in order to grow my real estate business? And it's hard. Real estate is a microcosm of all other businesses combined, and it's fabulous. You get to build the American dream. Well, you don't always have to build the actual house, but you create the American dream for other people by being that person, that agent, that person who helps buyers and sellers live where they want to live and create their best American dream. This is it's a fabulous profession to be in right now. Many people have jumped into this profession because it seems easy. Many people very mistakenly say, well, what's so hard about selling a house? And that is exactly the question. It's hard. And if you do it right, that's why. I was in the Navy before I became a civilian. I retired out of the Navy. And the reason I got into real estate was because so many of my young people, my sailors, were coming up to me saying, I don't understand. I'm supposed to be buying a house, but I don't really understand the process, and I don't understand what my agent is talking about, and I just don't understand the process. So I taught myself off to real estate school so that I could better understand the process and the procedures and the law that governs real estate. And we all know real estate school does not teach us the business of real estate. That's what this is. So for many people, they don't realize that comparatively our homes at sea are much smaller than anything that they are considering on land for sure. So a little 411 on me. I was fortunate enough to spend 25 years on active duty in the Navy. I went to the Naval Academy. I'm an economist. This is what I get to do. As an economist, I look at the big picture of the housing market. I look at NAR statistics. I look at all of those things, and I pay attention to the movement. And everybody knows we've got a really low inventory right now, and that low inventory is probably going to continue. I did teach at both the Air Force Academy and the Naval Academy. I was at the Air Force Academy for 10 years. Yes, if you're paying attention to the news, I am about an hour south of where all the fires are today, and we are fine. I met my Marine Corps husband. We were both doing some counterterrorism work, and now I get to work on businesses. So let's get to you. What is your value? When people say, hey, Jane, you're a real estate agent now, why should I work with you? This is the value proposition that I think it's important for us to create. So what does this value proposition look like for you? Well, here's mine. And when the whole COVID thing hit, there was the temptation. I'm going to share with you some of my mistakes. There was a temptation to take my foot off the gas, to not do the things that I was doing for my clients. So wait a second. One of my friends, and this is why we need our friends. One of my friends kind of kicked me and said, hey, what are you thinking? Right now, don't you think people need strategic planning? Yeah. Don't you think people need some leadership development? Yeah. Don't you think people need to understand the markets and economic forecasting? Yeah. What about crisis management? Yes. Tactics? Yes. Maybe a little inspiration? Got it. So this is my value proposition, and I want to encourage you to think about yours. So let me go back for a second. If people say, Heather, why are you in real estate? Why should I be working with you as my next agent? It would be great if you could fill in the bubbles so they know what that looks like. We want to make sure that people get this great idea of what your value proposition is and how you are differentiating yourself in this very crowded marketplace with lots and lots of agents. I've spoken at the Florida Association of Realtors, Minnesota, Michigan, Texas, Colorado, a few others. And in Florida alone, I think there's something like 200,000 agents. So how do you define your value proposition and break out of a very crowded pack so that you can differentiate your branding, yourself, and the value you offer to your potential new clients? We've only got about an hour here today, and some of that is beyond the scope, but I'm going to encourage you to think about if your friend said, hey, why should I work with you as an agent? That's when you go back to them and say, well, why should you work with me as an agent? And then differentiate what that looks like. When I was an agent, because I wound up being an agent actively for about 8 years, when I was an agent, I said, because I'm an economist, and I am going to make sure that the home you buy is the right home in this market. My other value proposition was, and I would say it, but just say, I want to make sure you're in the right mortgage, and I'm not too worried, that your mortgage is more important to me than my mortgage. I would say things like that. All right. So our value propositions focus across all sectors, what people want. It doesn't matter if it were in real estate or we work at a fast food place or we work at a big box store. They want a good quality product. Okay, so you're selling them the house that they can afford, so hopefully it's a good quality product. They want pleasant interactions with people. You're pleasant or you wouldn't be in real estate. Here's where we have a challenge. The process and the procedures are easy to buy or sell a home. If you ask your last 10 clients, was this process easy? Would they tell you yes? And I am betting that they wouldn't, because most of the time, you got to remember, most people only buy one house, maybe two in their whole lifetime. We're not good at it. So you got to understand that we don't know what we're doing. We're relying on you knowing what we should be doing and guiding us through the process and the procedures in a way that makes it easy for us. So if you do nothing else moving into 2022, I think it would be great if you could look at the process and the procedures that you can manage for your clients to make it easier. And remember, folks, people respond to incentives. When you are very responsive to them, they will be more responsive to you in return. So how do we get there? Very quickly. I have a series of 5-minute plans. There are about 80 of the 5-minute plans. You're going to get 14 of them today, plus the 12-month business accountability and success big book. It looks like this. I drink my own Kool-Aid. I do it for every single one of my big clients. I have their name on this. This one's mine for 2021. And this is how I start the year with everybody. What do you do and who do you serve? And many people in real estate get this wrong. They say, well, everybody, needs a house. Not everybody can buy a house. Only 64% of Americans can afford to buy or choose to buy their own home. But for those 64% of Americans, it does represent 65% of all of their overall wealth. So buying a home and developing equity is a critical way to build wealth in this country. So who are you serving right now? Do you love first-time home builders? Do you love people who are downsizing? Do you love military families? And then who do you want to serve more of in the future? And I'm talking about the people you love, not the people who accidentally land in your lap and you did it because of course you're going to do it because it was an easy job. Of course. But who do you want to serve moving into the future? What other major changes are we going to see moving into the future? Well, that's an easy one. Interest rates are going to go up. 2021 was a good year to buy a house. It was also a good year to sell a house. It was a good year to buy because interest rates are low. It's a good year to sell a house because capital gains for sure are going to go up next year. If you haven't looked at the IRS documentation, please, I encourage you to look at that. Interest rates for sure are going to go up next year. We're still going to have a struggle with a labor shortage. We are still going to have a lack of plumbers and carpenters and drywallers and cement layers and all of that. And it's going to continue to be an issue. So we have to look at the major changes that we are seeing in our industry so that we can plan for that, because those changes affect our purpose. You might be aware that the baby boomers are turning 65 at the rate of about 10,000 a day, which means a lot of those people have decided, I do not want the maintenance of a house. I thought I wanted to live near grandchildren and pick them up and take them to school and do all that. And some of them have decided they do not want to do that anymore. So think about how the demographic and social changes around you are going to affect what it is you do. And then think about the legacy we want to leave as agents. When you sell a house, do those people say, oh goodness, because Gretchen sold my house, thank goodness, everything went smoothly and can't wait to tell everybody about Gretchen? Or do we want to be one of those people who say, Gretchen's in real estate, but wow, she's such an amazing community participant. Every single community event, she's there. I'm not thinking about a house, but if I did, I would be calling Gretchen. Think about, and the subtleties are subtle. Think about the legacy we want to leave. And then think about the constraints. In the Facebook page, I see a lot of things about, where people should put their marketing dollars, where people should spend their scarce resources. If there were no constraints for you serving your customers the best way possible, what would that look like? And you're going to get a copy of this 5-minute plan. Now, keep in mind, folks, anytime somebody buys a house, it's change. Most people don't like change. We say we like change, but most people don't like change. We like comfort, we like stability, we like status quo. Certainly the last 2 years have given people lots and lots of changes. And for many people, that has been a huge struggle. So 2 things in the 5-minute opportunity plan. Again, we've only got an hour, so I'm going to ask your permission to highlight a few of the things that you're getting so that I trust that if you're interested, you'll go back and delve a little bit deeper. What are the benefits of having this challenge in the housing market right now? What are the benefits of this? And then in a year, what will we say is a great outcome of this situation? How will we say it made things better? Maybe all of this commercial office space has now become affordable in your area, and maybe you've now moved into commercial real estate. Maybe you are looking at more multifamily complexes, whatever that looks like. So think about where we want to be in a year. Now, I'm going to mention a few things on follow-up, but it's so important. I did want to hit it in the beginning. This is a graphic from a guy named Mark Hunter. Mark Hunter wrote the book called High Profit Prospecting. And right now, prospecting is hot because you're competing for the listings and you're competing for the buyers who are so well qualified that they're going to get that house. In the past 6 months, I wound up selling a couple of my personal properties, and it's very interesting that they're very different based on the locations. And it was very interesting to me to see what is attracting the sellers to certain buyers and vice versa. Now, for you all, so prospecting is a big thing. Again, I'm mentioning it here, but I've got some more for you on this. How often do you follow up with prospects? And I'm not talking a prospect as somebody who mentioned to their friend, hey, I think I might want to downsize my house. I'm talking about who's on your list. Do you have a list? Do you have a CRM that you work? And when I say work the CRM, you reach out and touch them. One of the things that I think is a big mistake many agents make is once the house is sold, escrow's closed, everybody's got the right keys, they deliver the bottles of champagne or the house plants or the chocolates, and then they shake hands, and then you're speeding off to the next appointment, and these people are in their house. Well, you're the one who guided them to this house. So for you to kind of just speed off into the sunset makes them feel a little bit like, what just happened? So think about your follow-up with your prospects. Most people, when they're being honest, say they could probably follow up with prospects as well as past clients a little bit more. So a few questions. How's your business? Will loans cost more? Yes. If you're in a hot area where I'm about, as I mentioned, I'm about an hour south of Denver. And in Denver, for about 7 or 8 months, if you had a property listed between $300,000 and $400,000, it was off the market in 24 hours. It's just crazy. So business is good if you're getting the listings and if you're getting the buyers to do that. Will loans cost more moving into the future? The answer is yes. And this is making cash offers far more attractive. It's great if you have people with cash offers. But if you don't, then what can you do to make sure that the sellers look at your buyers attractively? And that is all the pre-work, and you're the one who says we can close within 9 days. We are highly motivated, we will close. And that is what sellers want. How long will this go on? It's going to go on for at least another year. So hang on, because we're in it. This program is, by the way, based off of the book, 15 Ways to Grow Your Business Every Economy. I may have mentioned that. A few things that we absolutely know about the real estate world and what are we certain about. And the answer for that is, in fact, change. And I know you all know that. It's change. So some people, we thought for a while the tiny house movement was going to catch on. I still think there's possibility for that in certain communities. You've heard of the granny pods that can hook up to your electrical. You literally run a hose out to this smaller facility. You run the electricity out there, all of that. I still think there's probably a place for that, but I'm not sure we've built the tiny house communities that we need. Everybody, of course, is now all worried again about the virus, and you've had to change protocols. Keep in mind, folks, we all got very worried about Delta. Now we're worried about Omicron, but keep in mind, there's another 1,200 variants out there. We're going to be dealing with this for a long, long time. And my CEOs all say, so what should I really be concerned about? my number one thing that my CEOs are concerned about right now is cybersecurity. Please, please, please make sure you are protecting your list, your client base, your client's information. Get a VPN, make sure that you are running it, doing the right updates. If you've got an office that does this, I know it means logging in is a little bit slow in the beginning, but making sure you have backup on your computers and making sure that your information is not being hacked is huge. When I just talked to a group of bankers, and I said, this is not about if you're going to get hacked, it's a matter of when, and that's it. The Great Resignation, just a point, he has two fingers there, not one. The Great Resignation has meant that about 20 million Americans have voluntarily left their jobs and decided to do something else. Now, part of this is because they looked around and said, is this all there is? Fear of missing out. You only live once. What should I really be doing? But for other people, they decided, I want the freedom that comes with being an entrepreneur. This could be some of you. I love being an entrepreneur. I call it living by your wits. And what most people don't realize is it is harder than people think. 6 of the 7 new businesses, by the way, that are being started as solopreneurships, real estate agents fall under that, are, by the way, done by women right now. But we know the uncertainty is exhausting. So how do we take care of the uncertainty? How do we get unstuck? How do we transform where we are right now to where we want to go? Because we've all figured some of this out. Some of you are doing this right now. You have figured out how to do Zoom calls while having a dog on your lap. Some of you may have a dog on your lap right now. I have 2 canine office managers with me who make sure, well, they're the ones who, by the way, pick the prizes later. So I just want to point that out. It's not me. They get to pick the prizes, but we figured this out. Some of us have figured out how to homeschool. And sometimes we've had to call in reinforcements with aunties and uncles and grandmas and grandpas. And our kids have certainly made big transitions. And what this has taught us is our homes have to change, that we now need places where kids can sit with someone and do homework. We need a closet space where we can jump on a video. So how do we grow our real estate business in every economy? We have to look at what we're motivated by. And I was motivated at the time by learning more about the industry that really does make the world go round. But some people are motivated by being around people. I was also fortunate to be in a great office with amazing people. Some people are motivated by the money, and some people are motivated by helping dogs and cats of all kinds find their new homes. But I want to go through 10 common mistakes that I see solopreneurs make all the time. And I'm sure that you don't do this, but very quickly. Number 1, they don't know how and when they make a profit for a couple of reasons. As agents, a lot of times we don't count our own time. We don't do a monthly profit and loss tracking, and we need to do that. If you need something easy for that, there's a free one on my website, free. There's no login. By the way, there's no silliness. There's no login on that. Number 2, they spend too much time on outsourceable tasks. Folks, I have a series of people behind me. I do not make my own flyers. I have a series of flyers. I do not do the layout of my own books. I do not do my own book covers. I don't do any of my own graphics. So if you see a mistake in the PowerPoint, I promise you I did that, not my people, because I was trying to play with it. It's a terrible idea when I do this. I need to make sure that I am spending time on the things that only I can do, and I need to outsource the other ones. I'm not an affiliate for this company, but it is a company I also use. I have a VA, I have an outreach person, I have a physical office assistant, but I also use a company called fancyhands.com. Fancyhands.com, I know it sounds kind of like a massage parlor, I know, but for $29 a month, you get 5 jobs, and they're supposed to take them about 20 minutes. So I don't know if you're like me, you go to an event, you walk away with a little baggie of business cards. What do you do with them? You're supposed to put them in your CRM, but then you get busy, and then you have a really great night and you're so excited to see people, and then you don't do anything at all. I take pictures of those. I have Fancy Hands put them into an Excel spreadsheet, and then I take that Excel spreadsheet and dump it into my CRM. All kinds of things they can do. I invite you to take a look at what they're capable of. Again, $29 a month to take things off your plate, totally worth it. They can make phone calls for you. They can make appointments for you, all of that. Number 3, people waste time, or you have people who waste time, and we're going to solve that with the productivity plan. This is kind of what sparked this whole thing. When I started out in business, I had I had the day runners and the day planners, but I needed more. I needed multiple sheets for every single day. So this is the productivity plan. The productivity plan looks like this. I'm showing you a slide of this, but it tells me every single day what my appointments are, where I've got to be, what calls I have to make, my follow-up, and what I actually have to accomplish. And I look at that last thing before going to bed every night, first thing in the morning with coffee. Number 4, many people lack focus, or they have people who lack focus. And if you're around a bunch of agents or a bunch of people who just sit around in coffee shops and talk about the fact that you don't have any clients, that is not going to be helpful to your business. Number 5, many people don't develop their knowledge and skills. So for some people, when they say, I'm just starting out, what should I do? I say, get smart about the inventory in your town. And they say, well, but the inventory changes. I'll get smart on it when I have a client who's interested. No, get smart on the inventory now, and get your friends to talk to you about this with their other friends at networking events, online. Have conversations about this. Develop your knowledge and your skills as a professional in this business. Number 6, many people will hire people and pay a lot of money for bad advice, and that makes me crazy. This is one of the reasons why I have a series of free webinars, because I really want people to just get their business rolling in the right direction. Number 7, they don't use the right technology to make their life easier. Let me show you an example of what I do for that. Number 8, they have a poor online presence or public image. Folks, I have a very, very common name, Mary Kelly. The search engine optimization that I struggle with is Mary Kelly is the name of Jack the Ripper's last victim. So if you just put in Mary Kelly and know their search criteria, you're going to get Jack the Ripper's last victim. And for somebody who never saw a computer and was dead over 100 years ago, she's got some serious SEO. So I have to combat that all the time. And that means I have to work on my SEO. So how to use technology? This is my booking link. This is through something called Book Like a Boss. I do pay for this. It is just so people can make appointments with me and they know it's me. And that way I'm not going back and forth going, when are you free? When are you free? I don't know. When are you free? That makes me insane. Number 9, many people have short-sighted planning. Short-sighted planning means you're not looking at the long haul. If you're an agent, I want you to sell and buy houses with not just the son of your friend, but the son and the daughter-in-law and all their friends and all their friends and the mom and dads, all their neighbors and the bridge clubs and everybody else. And that means delivering great, great customer service every time. And then many people just don't have a plan. So, and it's not people's fault. They just don't know that you need to have a plan. So I want to ask in the chat, and go ahead and throw in the chat, what mistakes do you think a lot of real estate professionals are guilty of? Is it wasted time? Is it not being focused? Is it not running the numbers? Go ahead and throw that in the chat. I'm not saying this to you. There's a no judgment zone here, no judgment zone, but just let me know what you're kind of thinking on that. And I'm going to keep going. So how's your business doing? And should you sell during a virus crisis? Well, yeah, people are still moving. People still need houses. People still need what it is you do. Gretchen, very nice. People stop prospecting. Yeah, super tough, super tough. Heather says not being self-driven. Thank you, Heather. I think you're absolutely right. Or people sometimes think that in real estate, it's a job that somebody's going to tell you how to be successful. I just want to share with you, I'm quite old. And when I started, my broker literally handed me the phone book, handed me the white pages and said, start at the A's. And I thought, well, those poor A people, they're just getting a whole lot of phone calls. And I don't think that's a good way to start in the real estate business. How can I be more profitable and productive using more of my presence online? And that means be smart. Now it's easier than ever because more and more people are shopping for their homes at night after the kids have gone to bed, after soccer practice, after dinner, after TV, with a glass of wine in their hand. So make sure your online presence is really valuable. Okay, 15 things. Dust off your virtual and live strategic plan. I want to make sure you understand when I say a virtual plan that you are using technology in a way that works for you. Not everybody loves it. Not everybody's going to have a series of 5,000 TikTok videos. However, it is a helpful way to showcase what it is you do. So I think your business plan is your battle plan. It's a great planning tool. It's time to start implementing ideas. I think it's kind of like that 1980s clothing. Some of you might remember the 1980s with your corduroy shorts and your members only jackets and all of that. And what does that look like? And then your business plan should encompass your strategic vision for where you want to be in the future. Many people don't put those things together. Now, there's a lot of changes going on. I have an entire other thing, another program that I do on the leadership side that is just about dealing with the changes people have experienced. Folks, We can swim with the tide, we can float with the tide, you can swim against the tide. The change is here, so let's get out ahead of the tide. Let's surf the tide. Let's make sure that we are the ones leading our clients to good decisions. And this is the 5-minute business plan. In the 5-minute business plan, there's really 6 components. It's only numbered to 5, but there's 6. You've probably figured that out. The big picture is, who do I sell to? What do I provide specifically who? Everyone is not a target market. I specifically sell homes to people who are downsizing. I have a team of people who can help my clients with the downsizing process so that they get top dollar for the home they're moving out of, and they are settled in well to their new home, something like that. Number 1, making life better, your business operations, making sure that your whole team, if you have a team or your assistant or your affirmations every morning is, who are you helping? What are you increasing for their life? And if they've got stress in their life, what are you reducing or getting rid of? Number 2, how are you making money in this business? Many people say, well, I'm a little bit slow, but I'm getting there. Good. Okay. It takes a while. But keep in mind, folks, you got to make money in this business or it's a hobby. And I know that sounds mean, but in the last few years, some people have thought of the word greed as being a dirty word. Greed is not a dirty word. Making profits is good. Making a profitable year for 2021 is awesome. It means you did the right things, you served your clients, you got out there and did what you needed to do, and you are successful at doing what it is you were put on the planet to do, and that is to help people. You should be proud of that. And that's something to be proud of. I think some people have it wrong when they kind of ding on people who are doing well in business. So number 3, almost famous and your marketing. People need to know about you and your products and services. Again, how do you differentiate yourself in the market? How do your prospective clients and customers learn about you? Do you have an active social media marketing plan? I'm going to give you one today. And again, we're just hitting some highlights today, but I'm around. And how do you manage referrals? I love referrals. I love referrals to my coaching programs, to my keynotes, because when I get a referral, that means I didn't have to go get that person who's interested. So if somebody gives you a referral, I know there's a percentage that leaves and some people get sad about that, but that referral is like a puppy, like a kitten, like a baby that somebody just gave you and said, please take care of my clients. And we have to care for them and nurture them and give them all of this attention, because somebody else trusted us with their clients. And we want to make sure that if we trust somebody else with our clients, that they do the same thing. Where this falls down a lot in the real estate world is you don't keep the other agent informed as to what's going on. And all of a sudden, 6 months down the road, you're like, hey, we closed, congratulations. They're like, what just happened? Keeping people informed is a huge, huge part of the referral world. Number 4, climbing the mountain of management and what you need to do. Figure out what you're great at. And if you've got your list of things that you have just not been getting done, chances are pretty good you're not that good at them either. Maybe you are, maybe you're not, maybe you are the only person who can get them done. But think about if you were to bring in, somebody who could help you for 4 hours to pull everything out of your office and put everything back in and make it neater. Would that get you started on the right foot? If you got to redo all of your marketing materials, and you can go on places like Fiverr, Fiverr, and do it very, very cheaply, would that set you off in the right world? So don't feel as though you've got to do everything because maybe, Joe Bob in your office, they do everything. That doesn't mean anything. If you don't have to do it and it's going to be more easily accomplished at a lower opportunity cost, then you could do it. Then you might want to think about outsourcing that. And then what's success? Is success 10 closings a year, 5 closings a year? Is it a certain dollar amount per year? Only you know what success is. And I just want to encourage you, don't compare yourself to other people when it comes time to measuring your own success, because their success is not the same as your success. And one of the things I've learned over the years, folks, is what we oftentimes see with other people is how perfect and beautiful and fantastic their life is, and that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So there's that. So what are your top goals and who benefits when you succeed? Figure out what your goals are based on that business plan, and then be accountable and committed to yourself. I met with a team last night, and the senior people said, what do you think about this one new owner? And I said, I think we have a problem because I don't think he's committed. And I want people who are committed to the success of your business. Now, keep in mind, folks, if you write your goals down, and this is why I do it every single day, you're 10 times more likely to achieve them. It also gets things balanced in your head. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Mary, you're a dinosaur. You use paper. Yes, I do. But I also use Google Calendar and Todoist and Slack and all kinds of other things. But there is a neurological connection between writing something down and being able to carry it around with you and then crossing it off. So very quickly, I know I've been talking for about 30 minutes. Some of you are just here to get the material, so I want to make that easy for you. This is the 12 months of business growth and accountability. So here's the planner. For example, if you're going to start off February, and every month has this. So there's January. This is a great time to go get it. If you've got one of those real estate offices with a really nice color printer, yeah, go print it. Go get it. Go print that. And it's all 50-something pages in there, and start off your year by knowing crystal clear what your vision is, who you're going to serve, what your business plan is, and then map out the goals for the month. And then think about goals for the month. Let's just take February. What do we want to do more of? What do we want to do less of? This month, I resolved to delegate or outsource what? What am I going to streamline? What am I going to complete this month? And then hold yourself accountable for this. Page 2, and every month there's a couple pages, is what am I going to resolve? Maybe there's somebody who, it happens all the time, somebody will call you up and say, yeah, I want to buy a house with you. And of course, they don't sign any contract. And then you show them houses, and then they say, well, I'm going to go with my cousin. It's just sitting there floating out there. So it's time to resolve it. Either get rid of it, forgive people, move on, whatever that looks like, but just walk away from that. Now, contact 3 people for advice. 3 people for advice, which is super helpful. There are people who may be on this call, maybe in the Facebook group, but contact 3 people for advice. And that means not just texting and emailing, but picking up the phone and saying, hey, I just want to, I saw your thread. I just want to check in with you. I was really inspired by that. And I just want to ask you a quick question. People like that. So ask quick advice, and those are people who will help you build your team. Maybe they don't work for you, but it's your team of advice. One of the guys I wrote a book with, his name's Peter Stark. He's out of San Diego. And people ask me all the time, why in the world would you write a book with one of your closest competitors? And I'm like, because he's smart, because he knows stuff, because we work well together, and why wouldn't I want a smart person as part of my world? And that's what I'm talking about. Many people think, oh gosh, if I talk to Sally and then she gets that listing that we're talking about, that's less for me. That's not less for you. It just means it wasn't right for you at that time. So you got to go on to something else. So then reach out to these 3 potential decision makers or clients. What does that look like when you're reaching out to clients? And things like, hey, so you bought that house a month ago. How's it going? That's all it takes. But you know what? A lot of agents never talk to people until they're looking for another sale. And that to me is a lot like having a teenager who only talks to you when they want the car keys. So make sure you are reaching out and touching your clients. So think about that. Do you want to do 3 people a week, 3 people a month, whatever that looks like? Again, my friend Mark Hunter, who wrote the book High Profit Prospecting, would say that's 3 people every day. So he's really good at this. On a scale of 1 to 5, how was this month? Great. What could have made the month better? Because sometimes we think, it was okay, but wait a second, it was a great month. We did great. So think about that. And then what are you grateful for? Because that neurologically strengthens what goes on in your head, and it will give you more satisfaction for what it is you're actually doing. And then what did you learn this month? And I love that one because so many of us kind of stop learning. So here's the productivity sheet. Again, I use it every single day. The one you're getting, you can download it as an individual. It's also part of the big book. I date it. So mine says, Friday, 31 January, I still use military time. And it has on there every single thing I need to do for that day. I print these out. You don't have to print them out. You can download them. They're a fillable PDF. You can fill them in on the computer. My OCD people love this. And I love my OCD people because they're the ones who said, this should be a fillable PDF. And I said, that's a great point. There's the productivity week. And in the 12-month planner, you also have the productivity week for every month as well. So think about the things you have to do. So let's just say you're going to start off the week. You're going to start off 1 January, all fresh, all clean, all shiny, all new. This is great. What do you want to do? And I would do different sheets. So if I was going to do something on productivity, I would say marketing. I would just have 1 sheet for marketing. I would have 1 sheet for business development. I would have 1 sheet for closing sales. I would have 1 sheet that focused on individual branding and what that looked like. And then I would use those and I would plug those in throughout the months moving forward. So how you get this, If you want, you can, and you are traveling, some people are, you can text the word dog to 66866. You can also just go straight to the site. It's productiveleaders.com/real estate. There's no sign in there. If you text the word dog, it's going to ask you for your email so that they can send you the link of this to your email and also send it back to your phone. I'm one of those terrible audience people where if you tell me you're going to give me something, I want it and I want it now and I want to see that I got it. So I don't want to have to jump off and do that. If this is challenging for you because maybe you're driving, maybe you want to take a picture of this, go ahead. That would be fantastic. And we'll move on. All right. So also in here is a book. There's a couple ebooks in there. One is on resiliency. One is on generating ideas and focusing on solutions. And then each one of these are individual downloads as well as having this inside the 12-month book. And this is what all of my executive teams are using right now. So number 2, assess your business. Take a hard look at where you are in the categories that define you. Are you competitive? If somebody says, oh, I also deal with downsizing seniors. Okay, so do they do it better than you? What can you learn from them? Because think about it for just a second. What your customers want from you is they want education on what it is you know and what you do. They want your recommendations. Hey, is this going to be an easy school district for my kids to get around in? They want information to help them make good decisions. This house is 10 grand more, but it looks like it's, got a newer kitchen. What do you think? This is what they're looking for your expertise for. And as I said before, they want pleasant interactions, they want easy processes, and they want you to be wildly responsive to them. So I know that cell phones means a lot of people are tied to this thing, and I am too. So ask your clients how they like to best get communication from you. Some people may say, you're gonna have to pick up the phone. That's good to know. If other people say, no, just text me, I'd rather have a text and make it fast. Good. What about emails? Make sure that you know how your clients want good communication from you, because that's that responsiveness. Okay. So when we're thinking about building a business, we've got all these things. I put this together. This is my 5-minute business growth plan. And if you're just wondering what you should be doing moving into the future, and you're not exactly sure where you're supposed to spend your resources, here's how I use this. And I just used it last week in Kansas City, a group of business owners. We printed this out, and then I asked everybody to go through this and circle the things that you're kind of a no or a not sure. And then for the things that you clicked no or not sure on, then go back and pick the top 3 things that if you focused on that, it would give you the most return on your investment. So very quickly. And if you want to just make notes, if you're listening from your phone, I'll just read them for you. So you have a business plan that accurately describes our business. Yes, no, maybe, whatever. We have a strategic vision for our business that's driving us toward future success. And agents always say, but I'm just an agent. No. You are the agent. You are the person who makes someone's dream come true. And this is a viable business. Everyone is clear on our goals for moving the organization forward. Are you clear about your goals moving the organization forward? We know our break-even points as well as our total cost, total revenue, and profits. Your break-even points are that happy moment, that happy, wonderful moment where your break-even point, your total revenue is equal to your total cost. So you've been throwing all this money into the business and finally you close and you get paid, and that's that break-even point. But what does that look like moving into the future? And please don't forget to plan for taxes. We have systems in place for actively generating, receiving, and thanking referrals. Like I mentioned before, we have systems in place to show customers our appreciation for their business, not just when they make the buy or the sell, but all the time. This is where an active CRM is really, really helpful. And I will tell you, I currently use one that's called Zoho. I've used MailChimp to do email. I have used Constant Contact. I used iContact. I've used Emma, and I've used Karma. So I like to try things and see what works. Every one of them has their own pros and cons. You just got to figure out what is going to work for you. And hopefully that will help. But make sure you've got some kind of way for showing your customers appreciation on a consistent basis. We have systems in place for getting honest feedback. Okay, folks, I'm here to tell you nobody wants honest feedback. I don't want honest feedback. I want to be told I'm funny, smart, and clever, and all of that. I do not want honest feedback. I just want to be told that I'm fantastic and nobody was better than me and this is fantastic. Well, that doesn't always help us. Sometimes you might want to ask the question, Where could we have made this process easier? What was the source of frustration to you? Is our website easy to navigate? No, not for you. Of course, it's easy for you, for future clients and past clients. And how do you stay in touch with people? Is your website mobile friendly? And again, you got to check Android phones as well as Apple phones about every 3 months, because the plugins change, and you got to make sure that your website is mobile friendly. Our social media is updated consistently and linked to our website. Can the website capture customer contact information? This is a frustration, and this is why a lot of agents lose customers. Before we can see your listings, we want you to sign in and give us all the personal information. I push back on that all the time, because basically, to me, you've just lost me as a potential client. I'm not going to give you my information. It's 10 o'clock at night. I don't want to waste my time. I just want to know if the house that you're selling is anywhere close to what I'm interested in. So we have to be really, really careful about that. We have trusted advisors to keep us on track, such as a corporate advisor, board of directors, or a mastermind. If you're not in one of those groups, I think it's really helpful starting out. And it doesn't have to be something formal. It's something you can do with your friends. We devote resources on professional training for our team. Yes, and yes, and yes. Read books, look at things, watch videos, and take time and schedule that every single week. Does everybody on our team know how to take great care of our customers, and do they do it? So that's the hard part. We may know how to take great care of our customers, but we don't always do it. And then do we follow up with clients the way we should? And again, I mentioned client follow-up at the very beginning. Most of us don't. So if you just focused on 3 of those things, let's say you decided you are going to revamp your website to make it easy to navigate. You are going to make sure that you are reaching out more to your clients, and you're going to educate them and help them make good decisions, and you're going to follow up with clients the way you should. Boom. That would be a great plan for the year. Okay, so think about those 3 areas and what would give you the most ROI. And then also think about, what did you do well in the past 12 months? What did you do in the past 12 months that generated great business? And did you do stuff online that helped people connect with you? Virtual programs? Did you send things out to people? Did you, I'm going to share with you one of the things I did. But what specific actions do I need to take to generate more of those activities? Please, please, please be great at customer service. Be great, great, great at customer service. And make sure, if you've got other people in the organization, make sure they love serving your clients, because it's huge. And be awesome about service. Promote other agents. And again, a lot of agents say, well, if I promote Joe Bob, maybe my clients are going to go work with Joe Bob. Okay, so what? That's a referral, and maybe those clients were not the right ones for you. I say, my friend Gina Carr says, throw social media candy. So maybe a month after you do a closing, just say, hey, just want to say, working with Joe Bob at, competitor down the street, that was just such a great transaction, and thank you so much. Now, what's Joe Bob going to think of you? Joe Bob's going to be like, that was so great. I loved working with Sherry. That was amazing. And all of a sudden, when he's got something going on, you're going to be one of the first people they call. And this is what we want. We want to build the relationships, and we want to help people take the next steps in a way that is right for them. I already mentioned to be honest about feedback. Shep Hyken is a customer service guru. He just does this so well, and he's got some fun ideas. I just throw that in there because it reminds me, and I've got his books on my shelf. 4, think like your clients. How do you stay ahead of the competition? How are you gonna just outwork other agents? And I used to tell people that all the time. They said, well, how are you successful as an agent? And I said, I'm gonna outwork you. And like, what does that mean? I said, I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to know the neighborhood. I'm going to know the inventory. I'm going to deliver for clients. I'm going to make the process fast. I understand the numbers. I'm going to outwork you. So to survive and thrive, we have to think about adding value, but in a way that works for our clients. Now, I had an easy job in a development. I kind of felt bad about this one. I showed up. My client said, I want to buy in this development. They picked out the flooring colors and the granite colors and the paint, and that was it. And I got paid. And I thought, okay, I kind of feel guilty about this one. And then one of my mentors at the time said, remember all those little bitty tiny deals that you worked really, really hard at? He goes, enjoy a win once in a while. I said, okay. So think like your client. Why did they hire you? Common courtesy. You're the BLT sandwich. They believe, like, and trust you. You understand what they want. You have accurate information, accurate inventories. You've solved similar family problems, and you respond to their needs right now. Now, why they don't hire you, and I get to do focus groups when I speak to large conferences. Why they don't hire agents, or what makes them mad about agents, or why they will never refer agents, is it's hard to get hold of us, that our website information is outdated. We don't listen sometimes when they talk because we think we already know. We don't deliver, you don't deliver, no, that's bad grammar, isn't it? See, I'm sure I made that mistake. You don't deliver what they want. You're trying to upsell what they don't want. Surprise fees at closing. Most people don't understand closing fees, and you can help them with that. But the biggest one is not returning calls, texts, and emails in a timely manner. So this is, as I said, what they want from you. So what we've got to figure out is who's your target market, and have you mined that demographic. Where do they work? Where do they shop? Where do they live? What groups are they part of? And what brings them together? And that's where your prospecting happens. So how do you grow to grow your business? How do you professionally help yourself? Well, you make sure you've got your ducks in a row. You make sure that you are doing what you need to do, and you are reaching out to other people. A lot of this business is reaching out. I sometimes see people who say, well, I'm an introvert and I don't really like to reach out. Okay, that doesn't mean you're a bad agent. It just means you've got to have different ways of reaching out for the people who like that about you. And then one of the questions I always ask people is, how can we work with and ask for help and mentor others? You know, wherever we are, folks, we are 2 steps ahead of somebody else. And it is incumbent upon us to reach behind us and get somebody in front of us and give them a good push forward. So think about, and now is a perfect time. And in the book I'm giving you, there is a year in review sheet as well, a 5-minute sheet for that. And one of the things I asked there is, what 3 people can you thank for helping you last year? Who can you thank? And then do that. A lot of times we think gratitude, we just don't do gratitude. So I got to share with y'all one of the things that I did when this whole COVID thing cropped up in March of 2020 was I called a friend of mine, and she is a baker. And she does these cookies. So here was what was cool about this. First off, it's a cookie and it's delicious. Everybody likes cookies. Most people like cookies. And then I just put, we're all in this together. We'll get through it together. But here's what was cool. You got this cookie from me, and then you got to send a cookie to somebody else. And that was super cool. And so use my promo code, which was Mary Kelly. So people like that. And all of a sudden, you just go online and then you put in somebody else's address, and she created this for you, and it is not expensive. And I have to tell you, folks, all of my real estate clients are using this because she's just awesome. If you're bad at reaching out to people, get somebody else to do it. Her name, because I'll give you anything you want, is Christine at cookiecharm.com. And she is just the nicest person you've ever met. If you ever thought about that woman who is baking cookies for your friends because you're busy, yep, this is her. And by the way, as I said, they're delicious. Now, back to throwing social media candy. I sometimes will also highlight my friends and things, because that is a way we, build up each other. I've mentioned saying thank you to clients. You know what also works? Thank you notes. Thank you notes work to clients. I have them on my desk all the time. I have thank you notes. And just dropping a note, hey, it's been a year since you're closing. It popped up on my Facebook feed, and I'm just so happy that you're happy in this house. Would love to get together for coffee when you got time. Send a thank you note, and I appreciate y'all. So the first person to text me your 22 goal gets a prize, and the dog gets to pick. Well, actually, this is the first one, so the dog is sleeping right now, so there's that. But this is my actual cell number. And if you are interested, you can text me your goal, and then there will be a prize. So there's that. That is my actual cell number. It's my actual cell number right here. And I like it when people work hard and move forward. So number 8, embrace change. If you can't change it, get ahead of it and embrace it. And for a lot of people, they fought the whole COVID thing. And they said, I don't want to go online. I don't want to do this. I don't want to change how I do things. And I made some of these mistakes too. The mistakes I made starting in 2020 was I stopped calling people because I didn't want to bother them. I thought, well, they've got to be, they've got to be really busy. And then I held up on my newsletter because I didn't want to seem promotional. Like, people didn't lead leadership and business guidance and support. Like, that's pretty stupid. And then I said yes to way too many things that did not serve me or my business because I thought I was going to have time. I thought, wow, if we're quarantined, I'm going to have time. No, I didn't have time. I did some things right, and I had time, so I did publish a bunch of books. I called other business friends, and we would do Pomodoros to get things done. If you've ever felt alone in this business, and I'm sure you have, you sit at your desk and you just wait for the phone to ring, and you're just waiting for what that looks like. we would do Pomodoros where we get on a Zoom and say, okay, quick update, now ready, set, go. And we set the clock for 25 minutes and we would all do these Pomodoros and we helped each other. Then I would do weekly calls to make sure I'm up to date. I didn't feel sorry for myself. I'm pretty good about that on most days, but I also kept the schedule that I always have kept. And like I said, I'll outwork you, of 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. It's just how I roll. When everybody was laying off staff, I kept everybody. I developed new relevant ideas on how we're going to move business forward. I revamped and updated all my marketing programs in 2020 and 2021, and I've got new stuff for 2022 because things are changing and we have to respond to that. New marketing materials, reels. Super easy, folks. Go out to a house, grab your iPhone, say, hey, this is Heather, and I am so excited to be out in front of this new, you don't have to go in the house for Pete's sakes. This has so many great features, and I'm so excited that we get to do this. This is going to make a great home for a family with dogs because it's fenced yard with all the things. It doesn't take anything, and then create this and make it very organic. Throw it up on LinkedIn if you can, throw it up on Facebook if you can. You can't sell on Facebook on your personal feed. But if somebody says, hey, Heather, by any chance, you know of a 4-bedroom house in a great school district? I've got some friends moving into town. You plant that. Don't say, yeah, go to my website. No, I want you to respond and go, you know what? I just did a video of that and here it is. So make it very exciting and be that person who's on it. I started weekly webinars to provide value to my clients. And it also made sure I was staying in front of them. And then I developed some lead magnets. Like right now, I've got 22 things for 2022 that everybody needs to know for building their business. And people like that. I combine that's me actually. I combine my purpose and my passion. I did facilitated happy hours online. And we would send the wine to people's houses. I like wine. I also like bourbon. I like other alcohol. And then we would do business assignments in breakout rooms and everybody would sit there and I'd bring in a sommelier. And it was just fun and it brought people together. So it was professional, it was businessy, and it kept people focused. So 9 is be the cutting edge. Make sure other people are catching up with you. Make sure that you're the one with the great information. And again, this goes back to your website, making sure that it's updated the way it needs to be. 10, as I mentioned before, have a terrific system for managing referrals. I was better at managing referrals because I'd been in the real estate agency, in the real estate world than most of my friends. Folks, referrals are cheaper than cold calls. They're cheaper than creating new markets, and they are so much cheaper than spray and pray marketing. And I just can't tell you enough how much you should love on your referrals and cultivate those and make those happy. Number 12, train to grow. Help you to be better as an agent means knowing the industry. So if you're going to read the update of what's going on in your industry, why not make a video of that? Hi, this is Mary Kelly. I just want to tell everybody what's going on with the real estate market here in Denver, Colorado. I'm actually south of Denver, Colorado, but right now Denver is a hot market, and I just want to tell y'all what's going on in Denver. Easy peasy. Throw that up on your website, throw that up on your Facebook page, send it out to your CRM, pay attention to that. And we are getting up to the end of our time, just a few, it's like 7 minutes left. I tell people to train like you fight. If you're not improving, you're getting worse. And this is one of the problems I've seen with more senior agents who have not bothered to stay updated on new programs. I just went and did a program for a group of people who focus on veterans. I was in the Navy. My older brother was in the Marine Corps. His wife was in the Navy. My husband was a Marine. My sister was in the Air Force. Her husband was in the Navy. My younger brother was a Navy pilot too. So we've got the t-shirts. And I love this group of people because they said, well, the VA loans have changed. And I said, well, VA loans used to not be great at all. And they go, they've all changed. And I was like, oh, so that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You think we think we know, and then we don't know. So we have to look for ways to improve ourselves and our company, read books, join groups, whatever that looks like. Again, this is what it looks like for you. I also included, I think, the business plan template. So I hope I did. Feeling super optimistic there. 13, achieve your business goals. Listen and solve problems. And sometimes you don't see the return right away. Sometimes, people go, well, why are you doing that? because somebody's got a problem and I might have a solution, and this is how we help each other grow. Now, this is the last piece of magic I have for you. This is the 5-minute goal setting plan. So you're going to map out your goals for, you're going to map out your goals for the month. Let me see if I can find a month where I didn't screw. No, I really do drink my own Kool-Aid. I actually do. So here I've got my 5 goals. And then what I do is I print out one of these for each goal, because as soon as I have a goal, and so it's the first of the year, it's almost the new year. So let's just go, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I've been losing the same 10 pounds, for a long time. Some days it happens, some days it doesn't. But my goal is I'm going to lose 10 pounds in 90 days. So it's a very clear goal. It's a very clear metric. The obstacles is I like to eat. I do. And I like donuts. And I like cookies. And I like making Christmas cookies and all those things. So the obstacles are those things. Okay, wait a second. Once I know what the obstacles are, it's the holidays. There's kind of this idea of I should be able to eat cookies. Wait, what are the solutions? Okay, eat a salad every day before you eat anything else. You've noticed I'm trying to drink down water. Drink down water before you drink other stuff. Brainstorm on the solutions, because then when your brain gets to the obstacle, it will naturally gravitate toward the solution. So in real estate, you say, I want to prospect 3 people a day. I just don't even know how to start. So the obstacle is, my goal is I'm going to prospect 3 people a day. My obstacle is I don't know who to call. Okay. So there's something called the real estate search engine. If you're interested, I can send you what that might look like. But it gives you the people who are looking for homes because they're moving into your area. You can look at triggers that a business is being bought or sold, or Northrop Grumman is moving into your area, whatever that might look like. And so you look for the obstacles, actively look for the obstacles, and then you brainstorm on the solutions. And if you don't know what to do, get together with some of your pals in real estate and say, hey, let's brainstorm on the solutions. Let's all bring our goals, let's bring our obstacles, and then we create the action steps. Now, the action steps are things you can cross off your list. If you can cross it off, it's an action step. If not, it's just a goal. And so how do you know when you're successful? Folks, I use this for really complex projects. I use this for architectural firms. I use this for landscaping firms. I use this for development firms and real estate agents, and it works. So I hope you start with that, because again, we've got to take our vision and our mission and translate that into action. Number 14, reiterate integrity and ethics and do the right thing every time. And folks, in the real estate world, there's always opportunities to not do the right thing. Sometimes other agents don't do the right thing, and you're not going to be one of those agents. I think being able to sleep at night and being proud of what you do is critical. And so when in doubt, just do that. I mentioned communication twice because I think it's really important. And then 15, when in doubt, give and give and give. And if you don't know what to do, find other people, or you feel like you're stuck, join a group where you can give as well. So with that, I would like to kind of open it up. We've got about 3 minutes. What takeaways do you think you might work? Go ahead and please unmute yourself if you want. And just tell me what you think might be helpful or not. How can I serve you? And in case,
Hi, Mary.
Hi,
my name is Carly. How are you?
Hi, Carly. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having this. I'm a new real estate agent on Long Island with Douglas Elliman, and I started in April. It's been a learning year. It's been a lot of fun, but definitely I see some areas I need to work on, and organization and keeping everything together was one of the big key items. So I really appreciate all of this, and I look forward to using these books and these pages to help kind of get myself organized in a way that I couldn't before.
Go into work, hit the print button. And print it in color. Don't be shy.
Mm-hmm.
And in the book, the way it's designed is at the end of every month, there is a 5-minute plan. So here's January. At the end of January, it would make sense. It's a vision plan. How do you do your vision? And then at the end of February, it would kind of make sense. I say with hope and optimism, it's the business growth. How are you going to do that? And that's how I advise people to use it. I coil bound mine. A lot of real estate offices can do that. And that way I travel with it all the time. When I've forgotten it and then I've had to download the things, and I actually dutifully go hand copy it again because I want it all in one place. And then as I'm looking toward the new year, I go back through and I look at all of those months. I'm like, did I achieve those goals? And here's what's great about it. Some of them you didn't need to do. Some of them, that's part of the year in review. You just let it go and you're like, okay, I thought I wanted that, but I'm not going to do that. what I'm actually going to focus on is this. And it's very, I'm going to say liberating that you kind of don't feel like you're carrying around last year's baggage. So I really hope you like it. I hope it's helpful for you. And thank you so much for the comment.
Thank you. And I just want to confirm. So the website that you gave earlier, we could go to that and download all of this from that website. Okay,
Everything.
perfect.
It's productiveleaders.com/real estate.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you so much. Well, and thank you all for being here today. I have sure enjoyed it. I promised an hour, so I'm going to stop. And thank you so much. I wish you all the very best and Happy New Year to everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.